Hi everyone. It's been a while. It's been like nearly a year. Hi. I'm gonna be doing this again for once because it's the Rumble. I always come back for the Rumble. I've been a fan of WWE for a while, but I just haven't done any of the pay-per-view predictions because I haven't had time. But I just thought randomly there aren't many matches on this card, so I thought might as well do it. So let's get into it. We'll go from bottom to the top. So, the first match here is Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship, with Bianca Belair as champion. Now, the storyline with this is that it's going to kind of link to the Bray Wyatt stuff in that Alexa's being turned by Uncle Howdy, maybe not by Bray specifically, but like Uncle Howdy is like coming out and interfering with like Alexa and making her go mad and get a bit aggressive. And I don't think they'd let Bianca lose at the Rumble. If they're going to let Bianca lose, I think they're going to let her turn heel first, then lose at Mania against the winner of the Women's Rumble. Spoilers there. But yes, I think Bianca's going to win here due to the fact that Alexa might become a bit distracted by an appearance from Uncle Howdy. So maybe if the Bray match goes on first, and then this is later, and Howdy comes out says, "Look at what happened with Bray," or this happens first, Uncle Howdy comes out, and then Alexa interferes in the Bray match. But who knows? But yeah, I think ultimately Bianca Belair's going to win here, which will set because that's going to set up stuff for Mania, which I'll go into. Also, got a little bobble. That's why I look a bit different. The next match it won't be the main event, but it'll probably open the show because Roman either opens or closes the show, and this one will have to open them. It's Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Kevin Owens, which is a singles match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Now, this is quite a complicated story, which has been going on for months, which I'll kind of go into a bit more on the Men's Rumble match, but I'll probably mention it here as well. So Roman and Owens have had like this will be their third match at the Rumble against each other. So they had the 2017 one, which was the Falls Count Anywhere. No, it wasn't Falls Count Anywhere. It was an Extreme Rules match, I think, or No Holds Barred. Then they had the Last Man Standing one 2 years ago. And then there's this one, which is just a straight singles match. So the whole point of this is that it's all to do with Sami Zayn and the whole idea of like Kevin keeps interfering. Roman's been trying to get rid of Kevin once and for all because he's always been a thorn at his side, and the whole point with the bloodline of like getting the Usos to attack and getting Solo to attack and forcing Sami to attack his old best friend. And whether Sami is willing to do that or not, that's what happened on Monday, was like, is Sami worthy or not? And it looks like Sami Zayn is. But apparently there's going to be a final test, which is on Saturday. So tomorrow there's SmackDown, meaning that, and apparently Sami is not allowed on SmackDown. So at the Rumble, Sami has a final test. Now, they're setting up the final test to be he interferes with the Kevin Owens match on behalf of Roman Reigns, beats up Kevin while the ref is turned. Roman wins. I think it's going to go differently, but I still think Roman's winning here because if they got rid of Kevin, if they let Kevin win, it would scupper any other plans that they had going forward. Because the three plans for Roman, which I'll go into in the Men's Rumble a bit more as well, is either Roman, well, there's 2 nights, so maybe he fights both, but the 3 planned matches are Roman versus Cody, Roman versus The Rock, or, and this is just a fantasy booking one for like many people, including me, Roman versus Sami, which they're apparently doing at Elimination Chamber. Apparently the schedule is Kevin Owens here, Sami at Elimination Chamber because that's in Canada, and then At Mania, it's Sami and Kevin versus the Usos for the tag titles. However, that would not be a sufficient end to that story, but yeah, I'll go into that. But yeah, Roman to win here, maybe like interference from Solo or like something about that. Yeah, but yeah, Roman has to win here, I think. Next is the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. I don't know why it's Mountain Dew, but hey ho. This is Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. Now, this story has been going on far too long. This has not really gone anywhere until, like, a couple of weeks back. Because the whole point since Bray came back... Because Bray came back after the Seth Riddle match at Extreme Rules. And ever since... And the first person he went after was LA Knight. And then every week it seems that Bray seems to pull the same promo every week, going, oh, I'm back, but I might be spooky, but I'm not Uncle Howdy. And then for ages it was that. And then a couple of weeks back, or a few weeks back at least, Uncle Howdy appeared in the same place as Bray, proving that they are separate people. And then Bray kind of issued this pitch black match, whatever it will be. I assume it will be in darkness with neon lights. And LA Knight is... The fact that Bray's promos have become stale has been saved because LA Knight is such a good talker. He's such a good promo that he can save... He's saved this feud in a sense. And especially on Monday, which I'll go into in a bit. But yeah, so the whole idea of like Uncle Howdy's like he's been controlling Bray, brought him back, that kind of thing. The rumours are it's Bo Dallas and that's going to be the match at Mania, but I don't know. It could be. But considering the way, like, so on Monday, the Raw is 30 episode. Bray, so LA Knight did a promo on Bray saying like, oh, there's all these legends here. They don't belong here. They haven't been relevant for years. Oh, and Bray, you've never been relevant for years. So why don't you come down here? And it's like, he says, oh, either you or any of those legends, if you want to come down here and fight me, then that's fine. Then The Undertaker came out. Initially, it looked like it was going to be Spooky Taker, and then it became American Badass Taker, who hasn't actually been seen since 2003. Because the one who was at WrestleMania 36 was not Biker Taker. That was just a mix between the two, because he could still teleport and stuff. But yeah, Undertaker came out, and then I cut a promo on him going, oh, you I respect you, so I won't fight you, I'm going to go now, and then walks back, and then Bray, like, appeared, like, well, Bray's music started, LA Knight started to panic, walk backwards into, like, so Bray was there with, like, his lantern going, like, and then LA Knight moved back. And then, ultimately, that LA Knight got back in the ring, because he thought the Undertaker would protect him, and then turned around into Undertaker, who, like, grabbed him by the neck, and instead of chokeslamming him, looked at Bray, kind of not, like, acknowledged him, and then threw him at Bray, who then hit him with the Sister Abigail. And then Undertaker whispered something in Bray's ear. Now, because Taker's retired, I don't think this is going to lead to another Bray-Taker match. What I think this is hinting at is a kind of a passing of the torch. Because Bray... Because WrestleMania 31, I think they were trying to do a passing of the torch with Bray and Taker, but because it was in the day and because this was the first match after Lesnar took his streak, it kind of didn't have that. Like, if Bray had won that and Brock lost at 30, that would have been the big passing of the torch, because he could have lent into, oh, I'm the new face of fear, look at me, ah ha ha. But it looks like now they're actually probably going into it, because on Twitter, Bray took a photo of the Undertaker whispering in his ear and the 31 match, and kind of put like this big spiel about like, oh, thank you for. Hang on, I might get it up actually because I might be able to find it. Bear with me. But yeah. Hang on. Let me search. What's his name? His name is White Six because that is the suggestion. Let's have a look, shall we? White 6. Oh, that's White 5. White 6. Here we go. I'm following. Let me give up. Yes. So you put this. This moment justified a lifetime of sacrifices for me. A lifetime of people treating my uniqueness like it was a disease. Through all the bad times, I never changed myself to fit anyone's narrative. I'm proud of that. Thank you, Taker. So the suggestion there is that is a literal passing of the torch because that's what he's saying. So I think Bray is going to demolish LA Knight, and then at the end, Uncle Howdy comes out, sets up the Mania match. Unless they want to go elsewhere, like a Karrion Kross feud. Who knows? But yeah, surely Bray has to win his first match back. Well, his first televised match back. I mean, he has to. I mean, because LA Knight can recover from this. He has the promo ability to come back from this. Like, I can see, potentially, a US title match. Like, if LA Knight goes over to Raw, I can easily see, like, a US title feud with whoever's champion. Like, if you do Cena Austin Theory and then Austin Theory beats John Cena, then you bring out then LA Knight can do the next feud, and then you can have those conversations. That's actually quite interesting. I'll go into that if they go near Mania. But yeah. So the next match is, well, I'm going from bottom to top. So this may be the main event. This may not be. I don't think it will. I think the men's will be the main event. The women's Royal Rumble match is obviously for a shot at the WWE women's title, one of them, or in the NXT if you wanted to. Like, they've only done that once, and that was with Charlotte, and it was a bit shit, so I don't know if they'll do that. But currently, as of January the 26th, so today, as the time of recording, 7 of the 30 entrants have been announced, and they are Liv Morgan from SmackDown, Candice LeRae and Rhea Ripley from Raw, and Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, and Emma. Oh, and then they're from SmackDown again. I think there's only really one winner, and that's Rhea Ripley. Like, the whole idea of a Royal Rumble is built around Rhea Ripley. And, imagine, like, Rhea Ripley, like, as I said before, like, Bianca has plans, and I think the Bianca plans are Bianca versus Rhea Ripley at Mania. Rhea beats Bianca and has a really good Raw title reign, because the last one she had when she beat Asuka at 37, she then went into that feud with Charlotte, which went a bit wrong because it was Charlotte. So I think, because that would be the tease, that because Bianca and Charlotte will be ringside, you could have the thing of like Rhea looking at Charlotte and going, oh, I could fight you because of this, because Charlotte's a face and Rhea's a heel. You could kind of go, oh, I could fight you and everything could be fine, like, and we can rekindle that feud. And then she turns to Bianca, like maybe looking at Charlotte, shakes Bianca's hand to say, like, fuck you to Charlotte, I'm going with Bianca. And then Rhea beats Bianca. It kind of has to, I think. Because if there's a way of getting Judgment Day with all the gold, like, it will legitimize them. Because, I mean, they have been legitimized already. Dominic Mysterio's done a hell of a job with doing that. Like, if you do, so at the moment now, if you then did either Dom with the US title, like, so either Dom or Finn get the US title, the other one of them goes with Damian Priest to win the tag titles, and then you can have Rhea with the Raw title, it'll legitimize them a bit more. Like with the Bloodline, like, all the Bloodline apart from Solo and Sammy have held gold during the Bloodline reign. And even Solo did for a bit. He had the North American title, and then that got stripped off him because he went to SmackDown. Sammy hasn't yet. Spoilers. But yeah. Yeah, I think Rhea Ripley's going to be there. The only other thought I had was maybe Becky, maybe Asuka, but I don't think they're gonna do that, I think they're gonna. I think Rhea's winning. It has and my thought, as I said, my thought is, what if Rhea wins the women's rumble? Then, if the men's rumble is the main event, Rhea enters the men's rumble and says, I've won the women's. I'm willing to fight the men. I can win that too. It'll be a big pop because the Nia Jax one, even though people didn't like Nia Jax when she came out in 2019, that was actually quite a big thing. It was because it was the first time there was mixed gender fighting. Well, because that was before the Baron Corbin end of days to Becky, so that was quite a big thing because it hadn't happened in a long while. So doing that again with Rhea would work great. And now onto the men's rumble, which, as I said, I think will be the main event. The announced competitors for this, as of today, there are 15 out of the 30 entrants confirmed. And they are Kofi Kingston, Santos Escobar, and Ricochet from SmackDown. Austin Theory, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin from Raw. Rey Mysterio and Gunther from SmackDown. Cody Rhodes and Omos from Raw. And then Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Karrion Kross from SmackDown. Now then. So, as I've said, there are 3 plans. There are 3 scenarios for Roman. Because obviously whoever wins this will go against Roman because he has both belts. Unless they want to go against Braun Breaker, but why would they want to do that? Let's see if he still has the top person Rumble. I think he will, but yeah. So, out of the names announced, Cody is the only one with a chance for winning, I think. Because Kingston, no. Santos Escobar, not yet. Ricochet would need, I'd say in 2 years, if they give him enough of a push, maybe, but I don't know. Austin Theory, no, because he has the title. Because I think Cena's going to... With Austin Theory, Cena will come back, eliminate Austin Theory, and then they can do the Mania feud. That. Seth Rollins could, I guess, but no, I think he's too wrapped up in the Austin Theory stuff to care at the moment. Bobby Lashley, he's got the Brock feud. Brock will be in the Rumble, eliminate Bobby, maybe eliminates himself, and they both brawl to the back. Baron Corbin, no. Rey Mysterio, no. Gunther, next year. He's got the IC title. Let him lose that first, then he'll win next year. Gunther is the same as Rhea Ripley in that I can see Gunther adapting to the Rumble really well. Cody Rhodes, I'll speak about him in a minute. Omos, no. Drew McIntyre, no, because they haven't built him up enough. Sheamus, he'd be a wild card. I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think they would. Braun Strowman, no, and Karrion Kross, no. So, yeah, Cody Rhodes. If they hadn't announced that Cody Rhodes was going to be in this match, I would have certainty that they surely they'd, if they're going to win, if Cody was going to win, they wouldn't have announced him. He'd be a big surprise at the Rumble. They aired those vignettes. They could have aired those vignettes after Rumble and just said, oh, here's what he went through. If he wins, you could have gone, oh, here's what he went through to come back. But Cody, because he's been announced, it diminishes the fact that he's going to win, and the fact that if he does win, then it's really obvious now. And the obvious Rumbles never really were that good. The 2013 Rumble, for example. Cena came in, and everyone was like, oh, Cena's won then. Somehow it was a certainty. And I guess the 2015 Rumble, people wanted Daniel Bryan, but when they realised that Daniel Bryan wasn't there, they were going to be like, oh yeah, it's going to be Roman then. because they're pushing Roman, it's going to be Roman. And so people booed. So I think if, like, because Cody was cheered because of the whole, like, leaving AEW, going to WWE, doing great matches, and the injury, and the Hell in a Cell match. The Hell in a Cell match may scupper things, but I think because they don't have enough of the, like, I think with Cody, if they let him win, people might turn on him. They might do a Batista and turn on him because he's not my winner. There is the other option. Obviously, he hasn't been announced yet, and apparently he's not ready for Mania. He isn't in shape, so he can't do it. But The Rock. Now, they say The Rock's not in shape. The Rock has said himself he's not in shape, and so does not have time to prepare. The thing is, though, he could be lying. He could be trying to divert attention away and be giving, like, red herrings to say, I'm not going to be a part of it, and then he turns up, number 30, wins the thing. That would be a big fuck you, because then it's like look at all your younger talent. I'm in my 40s, 50s. We have won. Like, The Rock doesn't need the win to go against Roman. Him coming back, the Raw after the Rumble, and just going, right, Roman, I want that title on that night. We're doing that match. They could do that. It's fine. And with my winner, which I kind of think I've made clear earlier in the video, is a certain Mr. Sami Zayn. Now, as I said, the final test, the assumption is it'll be the Kevin Owens-Roman match. I think it'll be, they're going to put him in the Rumble, and they'll go, you're number 1. Sami, you are in at number 1. You, like, the Usos and Solo are going to be in this match at points. You've got to last till then. You've got to help them. You've got to let them bring... The final 4 must be you, and you must sacrifice yourself and let them decide. And then Roman, and I think if Sami comes in at number 1, Sami will be the Iron Man. He has to be. Like, the way that they'd set that up, Sami would be the Iron Man. He'd be in there last. I think maybe the final 3 is... The final 4, I think, will be Roman, Sami, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa gets eliminated by Cody, while, like, Solo and Jey aren't looking. Like, maybe they're on the floor, he eliminates Solo. Then Sami eliminates Jey. So then the final 2 is Sami and Cody. The 2, like, possible, like, the 2 winners that maybe wouldn't cause an issue. And you can go either way with this, as I've said. Cody could win, you could do the whole redemption arc thing, never won a title, wants the Roman title. Or Sami wins. Sami wins the Rumble, and then if The Rock then comes out on either the Raw or the SmackDown after the Rumble, Roman then gets worried because he goes, hang on, I've got The Rock on night 1, and Sami's won the Rumble. Like, maybe the Roman tries to convince Sami, oh, why didn't you go after the NXT title? You won that before. Why don't you go after that again? And then eventually, Sami gets in his head. He's like, I could do this. I could win. And so he takes it to... So maybe night 1 is The Rock. Night 2 is Zayn. And maybe The Rock asks for the Universal title. And then Sami asks for the Universal title. And that's how you split it. So then on night 2, because he's tired from fighting The Rock on night 1 and winning, he then loses to Sami, the Universal title. Sami then scalpers off to Raw. And then maybe if you keep both of the belts on each of them, you could then... But then I think Sami should win with both belts. Like, the image of Sami with both of them, that would be amazing. So maybe just Roman Rock is for both belts. He wins, goes into night 2 a bit tired. Sami wins. and then maybe Sami, because he's gracious, is like, I'm going to gift a title to Raw. Kevin Owens wins that, then Survivor Series can be Sami versus Kevin. Bring that back around. But there's stakes because they both have titles, and there's the whole Survivor Series thing. And so, yeah, I think Sami Zayn's going to win. Well, my heart says Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn. My heart says Sami Zayn. My head says Cody Rhodes. Sorry about that, everybody. There'll be weird editing in this. Yeah, so, yeah, Sami Zayn will win because I think he has to. Look, my heart, yeah, as I was saying. Heart, Sami Zayn. Head, I think they'll go with Cody Rhodes, but my heart is overriding my head, so I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. So that is, yeah, that's it for those matches. There's only like 5 matches. Yeah, there's only 5 matches on the card. I don't think they'll announce any more. I think ultimately, like, this looks like a good pay-per-view. This looks like it's going to be great. Like, there's no, like, all the matches seem competent. The Bray Wyatt LA Knight match might not be that great, but it should be alright. And I think in the end, and I'll be watching this one live because I'll be at my friend Ryden's flat, so I can watch it live. Hello, Ryden. Yeah, like watching, like, how many Rumbles I've only watched the last 2 Rumbles live, and there's the 2021 Rumble, which had no crowd, and then 2022, which was shit. So this should be, and this is the first Rumble under Triple H's regime, so this should be, and he used to do the Rumbles before 2022, and they were rather, like, they're well booked, they actually have surprises in them. So it should be fun. Yeah, that's it. I'll probably see you at Mania. I don't think I'll be booking Elimination Chamber. So thank you for listening, and farewell.